Hello, and welcome to another game review. Before I start this off, I want to say sorry for not being active in the past 2 weeks. I was in the Netherlands and I wasn't quite able to play anything in that time, but I came back just in time to play through Vampyr? Anyway, and tell you my thoughts about it. Oh, and another thing. Do expect a video of me talking about the E3 shows and how you shouldn't trust pre-rendered trailers and complaining about how they haven't announced the new Elder Scrolls game. But to not tangent anymore, let's continue with the review. The thing that I liked most about Vampyr is the environment and the theme. I myself am a huge vampire fan. I even played the Vampire the Masquerade game, even though I never finished it, but I was left with the craving for good vampire games that might let me feel again how it feels to be a shadow of the night and hunt people to satiate my thirst for blood, and to exercise the powers given to me, willingly or unwillingly, and to see how normal people would react to it. This game's answer to that question is that they would react super friendly or instantly trying to kill you on sight. Which leads me to an ugly part of the game, the combat. It is the classic hack and slash that can be found in many games, but the game that popped first into my mind was Technomancer. That game too had a focus on third-person stamina managed combat that was floaty as hell, and as it is in this game, just a hurdle that I had to pass to get to the parts of the game that I actually wanted to play. It just feels so tedious and unresponsive, and the best tactic was mostly to just mash attack until something died. The only redeeming factor is the stun move, which if landed properly stuns enemies, leaving them vulnerable to your bite attack, which generates a bit of blood that can be used for abilities. So basically this game's mana, and it looks amazing, which just makes me even sadder that the rest of the game wasn't as well done. I once danced a merry jig around a guy trying to stab him while he kept sidestepping me, and so two of us just ran in a circle for a whole minute. I just kept it up to see how long it will go, and it lasted too long. But even though the combat is weak, some of the vampire upgrades redeem it a bit, and it is worth going through it to enjoy the rest of the game, which is actually quite well done, and I enjoyed it immeasurably. A thing that I really liked are the moments when the main character actually has to conduct investigations to further the story. That is done by talking to NPCs to get information from them, and even that goes deeper. Some NPCs can give clues, which in turn can be used with other NPCs to get even more information out of them. That is quite a nice thing, and incentivizes the player to talk with all the NPCs and to get to know them, which is a great thing for world building. But besides interrogation sessions, there are clue hints that are just okay. It basically revolves around finding highlighted objects and then just clicking through the menu to see what it is about. But all of the information that the main character learns is voice acted, so it isn't boring, at least, even though the majority of it was listening to the main character ask things like, "What is this? What is that? Why is that?" and so on. And it is done in such a monotone voice that I sometimes get the feeling like the voice actor phoned it in. But that is only during the conversations, which do seem to be broken up a bit. There doesn't seem to be a natural flow to them. It is just the information that the main character asked about, with one thing thrown in that the main character will be able to ask about next. And that is basically the whole conversation tree. And for RPG standards, it is quite lacking, even though I did like the voice acting more than not. Which is great because a lot of time was spent investigating and collecting information about the people that inhabit the world, of whom there are two types: the normal cannon fodder that you will have to slaughter to progress, and the NPCs that you can actually get to know, learn their fears and desires, spend time with, and, drink their blood for experience. And this mechanic is actually quite good and innovative. What it does is give you more experience depending on how much you know about a person, But more often than not, I actually decided not to murder someone because I did learn more, which ended up being quite the moral dilemma for me. But on the other hand, it ended up making the town safer to pass through because there were less murders. So it's a double-edged sword. So, to wrap this all up, Vampyr is a good game, and I had and will probably still have a lot of fun with it. Even though it does seem to be in dire need of the whole combat system to be revamped, other parts of the game do make up for it. And it being one of the rare vampire games around makes it even better for me. So make of it what you will. And as always, goodbye and thanks for listening.
12 dreams for the Red Queen under crown of stone. 8 voracious beasts born from 8 restless nights. 4 nails piercing the flesh of the sinner.
1 ring to rule them all. 1 ring to find